Being forced to learn the language of your oppressors is an oppression of the mind. They rewrite your history when you're too young to know what you've given away. And before you know it, it's too late to reclaim what you've lost, she had said. Patois is your island's tongue, Alara. It's your heritage. It is a true expression of your heart. Don't give it away. And that's from page 82 of So Let Them Burn by Kamilah Cole, put out by Little Brown and Co. this year. It's YA fantasy, and I'm trying to think about where to start. I think I'm going to read a little bit of the insides just for a synopsis overview. Um, Farron Vincent can channel the power of the gods. 5 years ago, she used her divine magic to liberate her island from its enemies, the dragon riding language empire. But now, at 17, Farron is all powered up with no wars to fight. She's a legend to her people and a nuisance to her neighbors. When she's forced to attend an international peace summit, Farron expects that she will perform tricks like a trained pet and then go home. She doesn't expect her older sister Alara forming an unprecedented bond with an enemy dragon, or the gods claiming that the only way to break this bond is to kill her sister. I breezed through this book. I was surprised. This is fantasy, and I don't really gravitate towards fantasy. Maybe reading fantasy through YA, maybe just the approach for me that works better. Also, I knew before I started reading this book that the history, Jamaican's history, would be, I think I thought it would be influenced or referenced in a symbolic way. But actually, Jamaica's history was used in a more pointed approach that I thought really served the story. I think it's better for it, actually. And with that said, this is used as like a jumping off point for the author to discuss colonization. You know, with the quote I use, the author is clearly talking about the loss of language, holding on to one's culture, dealing with erasure that happens when uh, colonization has left its mark. So we're seeing like the echoes of colonialism threaded throughout the story. And there's so much heart to this book. Um, there's just like themes of family, um, the wars, I get the sacrifice you make in the name of war, and family. And there's also there's quite a bit of politicking, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that's a word, in this book that I really appreciated. It's kind of interesting, the conversation about what's presented to the world versus what's actually going on. When it comes to war, there's a discussion about the price of war, and even if let's say someone wins a war, then is the loss of life really worth the results? And that's like a discussion that's gone throughout this. Um, there's definitely also a focus on inner strength, on one's own power and identity. That's also just, I don't know, it's just so well balanced and handled. And I felt like the world building, the fantasy world building was handled so well that there was an ease to it that made me as a reader feel immersed in the world instead of taking me out. Which, as you know, recently I had an issue with that, with a different book that just kind of didn't know how to weave that in. It was more like an info dump. And that's not the case with Kamilah Cole's writing. This is done really, really well. So, yeah, with that said, probably figured out what my rating is going to be, which is 5 purrs all the way. And so I hope you pick this up. If you have read this, let me know what you think. My short reviews are non-spoiler, so try to keep it non-spoiler in the chat. And if you enjoy this review, please feel free to subscribe, like, and you know what? I really look forward to discussing this book with you in the chat.